17, 18-year-old rappers to dictate what society is supposed to be. There's no, we are 30, 40, 45, we still love hip-hop too. They're not letting rappers our age talk to us and talk to the youth.
Our type of hip-hop.
Every time I see you, you be getting faded like a motherfucker. I don't judge them, I just tell them niggas, tie your fucking laces, cause you tripping like a motherfucker. Yeah. Boy, I put it on my life, boy, I spread a lot of seeds.
Like when we talk about masculinity, like we often always go to immediately talking about dress, right? The way that we dress is not getting us killed in the streets, right? It's about the way that we perform masculinity, right? And so what is it about the performance of masculinity of not crying, punching your son in the chest, or shaming another man for not being as manly as you? Like, that's the stuff that gets us killed, right? It's not really about our dress. And so why do you think we have to perform masculinity in the way that we perform it?
Part of the issue, so when we think about masculinity, the way we frame masculinity is like the antithesis of what is feminine, right?
Whoa, what was that word?
The antithesis.
Holy cathedral, man! Word of the day right there, man.
Masculinity is subject, the definition of masculinity as we frame it is subject to how we view feminine, what's feminine, and the fact that we view feminine as inherently negative or weak, right? And so masculinity is literally us trying to not be feminine. And everything that we're doing as a result of us trying to walk in masculinity is really us trying to stay away from this negative, weak thing called feminine.
Not everyone in this room was fortunate enough to grow up with a father figure to give them a measurement of what a man's supposed to be. When to be hard, when to turn up, when to turn down, when to turn on, when to turn off, when to be submissive, when to be loving and caring.
A man means he who takes control. He sees what needs to be done and he does it. Right? Y'all heard that? Y'all heard one of those meetings?
I mean, that could still be debatable though.
It don't matter. But what I'm saying to you is that what I'm asking is, the question is, what is a man? What is a man? What is a woman? And when you get that answer definite, you would know the answer to your question that you're asking.
All right, so what's a man?
What's the definition of a woman then? If
One with man.
One who takes control.
One with man.
So the definition of a man is one who takes control. The definition of a woman is one with man.
Yeah. And when you operate from your natural design, there can never be any confusion.
But I think that's where the question starts to come up at, because now
that's good. I wanted to come up.
No doubt, that's the point.
Your originality.
I'm asking it to prick everybody's thinking.
When you say a man is one who takes control, and then you say a woman is one who is with a man, you're kind of taking away from the woman, right?
Yes,
no,
you are. Yes.
You're not taking. You don't take nothing from nobody because of this fact. Because of this fact. Listen, because of this fact. A man can't be no woman.
But not only
that,
hold on.
And a woman is not a man. So you can't stand here and tell me or anybody that got the base like Mass was saying, yo, some people ain't grown with their father and mother.
It's my FOI stance right
so
here.
We attach leadership to what it is to be a real man, right? But not all men are leaders, yo. Like, not all men are leaders, and it's like we're uncomfortable with that reality. Not all men are leaders, and not all women are submissive. Some men don't lead, and that's okay.
And why is submissive always perceived as weaker?
It still makes you a man.
But you're not. Why is submissive?
Even in that, wait. Even in that, you can't. There's no confusion. You can tell the difference, right? Mm-hmm. That's my point.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's confusing.
Masculinity, men, hip hop, and all of that. I'm not dealing with that because I don't get into hip hop like that like I used to. I'm only dealing with the essence of everything. The essence is, even if you take it to the genetics,
That's right.
there's no confusion about who's who and what's what.
That's right.
Now, the practical application of being a man will also separate you from being a woman. Period. And you want to see a man in action? You really want to see a man in action? This is what men really do. When we really master ourselves, we always come in very humble, very masterful, and we don't come with no threat. And we inspire the God in every man that's natural from creation.
And the strongest.
Black vision, it be so bright. Dream on, you got a special sight. Black vision, it be so bright. You can only see the stars at night. Black vision.
The perception of masculinity being strong, right? Being a provider. Doesn't that have its place? Why are we always trying to nowadays go against the grain of that?
But it's not going against the grain. Like, it's not about like being a provider. Like, when we talk about toxic masculinity is when we go out and we're willing to take somebody else's life because they stepped on our foot, or we willing to go out there and take somebody's life because they said something about us on Facebook. Like, that has nothing to do with providing, right? All of that stuff. When they say toxic masculinity, it's because you're dying as a result of this performance.
But
right?
I think it can be connected to the provider. So here's why I think, right? So if you can't provide and you're still trying to be masculine, then it goes back to this conversation about the physical versus the other forms of power. And what happens is it gets toxified. So in my instance, I grew up in the South Bronx, right, in a housing project. In that area, you couldn't be anything but masculine. I was a small kid. So my father wouldn't let me back in the house if I ever lost a fight. Right? A small kid can't win a fight. So I got to get back in the house. So now I got to do things that other people don't have to do. Right? So a kid once took my basketball. I couldn't go against this kid. He's like 6'4". I waited till he's sitting on the side of the corner and I bust him upside the head with the bottle. But that's an outlet right there. But there many times I don't have an outlet, so I internalize this. So at points where I have interactions with people and I can't be soft, it's a different type of interaction. It's not just that I'm fighting with them. I'm out to hurt this person for real, right? And so that comes from my father's sense of what it is to provide safety in the house and other things, right? Because he can't provide things in other ways. So I think it does actually connect back to whether or not we can provide for our families and all the other stuff.
So with that, there's a couple of things that come to mind. One, I'm gonna just use part of an example. Growing up, for most black men, young black men growing up, they if we grew up without a father, then it's almost like you have a blueprint that you can't read. And you walking around with a blueprint, and you go to your boys who just like you, who got a blueprint that they can't read. And then, but everybody wants to be a man. You trying to define manhood because you got this blueprint because your father, who's the architect, he ain't around. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, so you go to your boy and say, yo, man, what does this mean? Yo, it mean this. A jacked up definition of whatever manhood is. And then you fragment it. And then you take all the shrapnel from all your boys off the block. And then you kind of get these wrong and ill-defined definitions of what manhood is. And then you grow up thinking this is what manhood is all about. So you get it really twisted because you're the blind leading the blind. It really kind of goes back, the messed up definition of masculinity is because the black man kind of disappeared. Our whole role just kind of got jacked up through systematically. Systematically it got jacked up. And that was by divine creation. Not even divine creation, that was by social creation.
I agree with everything you're saying. And what happens is you guys read that blueprint, then you bring that blueprint to us, and you're already broken with that blueprint, then you expect us to fix and make that blueprint. We can't fix that. So what we do in addition to that is emasculate you even more. Now you're feeling even more type of way. We're sending you out here to the wolves and not even realizing that we're breaking you down even more with the independent. And don't get me wrong, I'm independent, I respect independency, but at some point, we as women have to play our place and our part. But what happened is, y'all read the wrong blueprint, then you come to us with the wrong blueprint. Now we taking over the whole blueprint, now you're feeling less of a man.
We talk about masculinity being a man. All right, so I was just watching, what is it, National Geographic, whatever the case may be. There's this community in South America. Kids grow up. It's a girl. She's reared as a girl, but the girl is saying, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. And reason for it. So she's going through that. She's going through that. And then at some point now, she's raised as a girl. Everything about her is a girl, physically, anatomy. 12, 13, 14 years old, for some reason biologically, then her testicles appear. So now this is this particular community in South America. So I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, okay, so we're saying that, okay, your natural order, well, this girl, what we thought was a girl, grew up with all the plumbing initially as a woman. Then at that age, and it happened to several people in this community, so it's not just one or two, it's like, it's known in this community.
They
And then,
experimenting on us, bro.
no. So Steve. So what's happening in this community, what they're doing, and it's not, this community is not like in the mainstream. This is just a really indigenous community. So what they're doing, so the next day they have to reintroduce that girl as a boy. And so it was a really strange thing. So I'm tripping because I'm like, man, so what happens when you're born thinking you're one way, but then you're feeling another way?
Masculinity is taught. Femininity is taught. And if we operate outside of the ways that we think are the norms, that's when we cause dissonance in other people, because they're like, yo, he's not doing manhood in the way that we think he's supposed to be doing manhood. Or she's not doing womanhood in the way that we're supposed to be doing womanhood, right? So all of that stuff is taught. Like masculinity and femininity is taught, and it's not natural.
I realize this. I'm from where them hammers rung. In Atlanta slums, pop a nigga, sit and wait for the ambulance to come. I know if you.
Now, I've been waiting for this. Can we dive into this?
Good, dive into what? Go ahead.
Masculinity and hip hop. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, somewhat.
The kids are being misguided. They know what they're doing. Let me tell you where it starts. We're going to go beyond the home because we all know that we are products of what our parents listen to. If we listen to what our parents listen to, we become a product of that. We listen to what our parents listen to, whoever 35 and up. We had the best of both worlds. We got real R&B. We got gospel. We got reggae, depending on your we got everything, and that made you a better person. Your kids be well-grounded. I grew up singing everything. You know, we taught love. You know what I mean? Let's stay together. Marriages, relationships, evolution in hip-hop, all that's out the window. Parents are 21 and 22 years old. They're listening to, girl, I want to F you, huh? And your homegirl, too. They're teaching relations instead of relationships. They're teaching lust and sex instead of love. They're teaching, I don't need you. I don't need you. I got money. And this is being trickled down, and it's a brainwashing. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm done, because I've been waiting for this. Everybody in this room know what masculinity is. Everybody in this room know what femininity is. We allowed somewhere for the femininity to take over masculinity, and we don't judge anymore. I don't care if you're gay. So be it. I don't care what you like behind closed doors. That's on you. So be it. But they forced their will on us, and now we got to deal with teenagers that are wearing dresses, that are wearing leotards, that are shopping in girl sections. No, we don't bow down and stand for that. Choice is your choice. Now, I'm going to tell you the problem is right now. The problem is we are allowing 16, 17, 18-year-old rappers to dictate what society is supposed to be. There's no, we are 30, 40, 45, we still love hip-hop too. They're not letting rappers our age talk to us and talk to the youth.
Our type of hip-hop's going to turn into jazz.
Yo, but listen to me. You know why? And this is why, I don't want you to get that misconception. This is not a plug, but this is why I'm going to give everybody here a copy of my CD before they leave. Let them know. Real hip-hop is still alive.
I just want to get back to the point for a second, because we're talking like hip-hop, current hip-hop is what's doing this to our kids. Right? I mean, like, we've lost our mind. Hip-hop spends more time with your kids than you do. That's why that's happening. Like, I mean, let's be real about it. A song or a radio full of songs can't do anything to my kids. And there's nothing different about me than other people, except I'm in that kid's life more than that hip-hop is. Right? So if we're going to talk about what's the problem with these kids, it is the parents of these kids.
It's at home. Exactly. That's where it comes from.
But I'm just saying, you can't get to hip-hop is doing this, because hip-hop is going to change again and again, and it won't be the dresses and the skirts, and whatever is happening will be infecting those kids because of the parents. So the real source is the parent, whether we're talking about the mother or the father. And these fathers that we're talking about, they haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. They're down the block. They just didn't come to where the kid is.
Well, why my thing is, and I'm gonna get to you, but we keep saying hip hop, like what's wrong is the femininity.
Yeah.
But yet when I was coming up, and I was getting dusted when Method Man had to Cal out, and Mobb Deep was talking about being a stick-up kid. But my thing is, we didn't say that was toxic. We didn't say that was an issue. That wasn't they got dresses. We might be happy if they got dresses. They might stop killing.
Prince was walking around with chaps with his ass out. They say nothing either about that.
He wasn't killing nobody. We might need him with their chaps out.
At a certain point, when we say that there's something wrong with someone because of their sexual orientation, that's when, but listen. But this is where they get objectified. Once you objectify a person or people, it makes it easier to kill them off. Right? And so when we talked about the objectification of women, when we objectify women, it makes it easier for them to be abused and for us to accept that abuse because that's what it's supposed to be. And so when we talk about people who are of a different sexual orientation and we say that there's something wrong with them and we objectify them, it makes it easier for them to kill us off. The same thing happened with black people in this country. We were objectified. Right? And that made it easier for them to kill us off, right? Because it became, we're killing slaves, we're not killing people. Right? But I think like these conversations are important. Right? Because a lot of times we don't have these conversations.
That's true.
Specifically in places like this.
That's true.
And so I think these conversations are important, and it's not saying that it's right or wrong. However, I think we need to really rethink what we think of when we talk about masculinity and what we talk about with femininity, because again, a lot of people are dying. Like when we talk about, if we turn on the news and see people dying in the streets, they're dying because of toxic masculinity. And a lot of us are internalizing it and passing it on to others. And so even with women internalize toxic masculinity as well. Right? And so it's about this balance. So I think we need to continue to have these conversations and to be checked. Like we learned something. I learned something from everybody in here. That's what we're supposed to do. Specifically with men, if we want to be if we want a masculine idea of what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to be sharpening one another. Iron sharpens iron, right? We're supposed to be being able to challenge one another. And if some stuff that we say is off the chain, we need to be able to tell a brother, but yo, that joint that you said is kind of out there, and here's why. And that's what we need to do in order for us to grow, in order for us to collectively heal. So hopefully we can continue to have these discussions. That's
So
real.
shout out to everybody who joined in.
Yo, before we wrap up, on a serious note, I just want to say this on a serious note.
Black vision, it be so bright. Dream on, you got a special sight. Black vision, it be so bright. You can only see the stars at night. Black vision. Black vision. Okay, precognition, rapid eye twitching. Welcome to the interstitials of my sight space. With all this transpired and the tears made of fire, you still looking through me and you looking like grace. Put your wings over eyes, now it's wheeze over eyes. Stay grounded in these roots, we believe we can fly. You see us in a different way, we're more than what they say we are. Try to put me in a cage, instead I'm pinning Cajun bars. In spite of all the wrong done to us, you let a sweet song come through us.
We sugarcoat right now. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of this. We sugarcoat.
A changing rules. Glimpses refined by divinity's design. Senses sublime, instead of empty and resigned. Nothing can take this hope from me. I'm glad you came in tonight and spoke to me. Black vision.